Welcome back. Today's video is somewhat of a special video. We normally do deck profiles and combo videos, but today we'll be taking a look at what is inside this tin. And for some of you out there might recognize this to be the 2019 Mega Tin, and that is correct, but there is something different on the inside. I'm just using this as a storage tin. This tin was modeled after the gold sarcophagus from the show, so it has things like the Eye of Anubis and this kind of like black and gold patterning. So this is definitely one of the more popular Megatins, kind of when they had some of the crazy promos like Nibiru, Dark Ruler No More, and Dimension Shifter, I think were the big three. So yeah, let's actually take a look on the inside of what is in here. And there we have it. For some of you, you might be able to already guess what this is, but others may be a bit unfamiliar. So this is obviously Monster Reborn, one of the most iconic and oldest Yu-Gi-Oh cards actually from the original set, Legend of Blue Eyes. And basically what this is, for some of you who might not recognize it, is this is the alternate artwork, the original OCG artwork to be specific. And Konami started this promotion. They called it the Lost Art Promotion. And what that is they took some censored artworks from the TCG and actually gave them their original OCG artwork, which is the original Japanese artwork, as kind of a special edition. So there's a few artworks that were censored for various regions, some religious, some just other reasons that will probably become quite apparent once we start looking through these cards. But basically, Konami was afraid of, I guess, the Western culture being too shocked by some of the original artworks drawn in Japan, so they changed them. And this is currently the only way to actually get these original artworks printed in English. So this Monster Reborn features the Ankh, the classic Egyptian shape, and yeah, it's definitely one of the more iconic ones, especially one of the more iconic alternate artworks. I think a lot of people would recognize this. So next, we have the right leg of the Forbidden One, and for some of you might not be able to tell, but there's actually a triangle star shape in the background, and the thought was that it formed a kind of a pentagram when it was completely assembled, all 5 pieces of Exodia. So the background was changed to kind of the classic magician circle that you are probably familiar with in the Exodia artwork for North America. And so these I think originally started coming out in around, was it maybe 2019 or so, and these are all in order currently. I think currently there's about 34. So this is the third one, the left leg of the Forbidden One, very similar, just has the star shape. Then we have Exodia the Forbidden One, the classic Yu-Gi-Oh card. Again, all of these are some of the original Yu-Gi-Oh cards from the first set. So these are definitely recognizable probably by a lot of people, even some who don't actually play Yu-Gi-Oh. But yeah, that's just a great card. This is like the most recent printing of Exodia. It's only I think it's been like about 2 years now, like I said. So they really don't print Exodia all that much, I guess. I'll put these off to the side so we can kind of focus on these cards a bit more. So this is the left arm of the Forbidden One. Again, just kind of that bluish dark green background with the star shape on it. And finally, the last piece is the right arm of the Forbidden One. So this was the first 6 that I think came out. I think it was in 2019. And basically they're extremely popular. How you were able to get these was you had to go to your local OTS store, and they received a bunch of these as promos, and you had to spend $30 in sealed product, and they would just give you one just for free. So it was a really good way to basically help the OTS kind of make money and get the players something that was really cool. So thankfully Konami has kept up this promotion, and they still do it. There's a one that just came out. It was a Spirit Charmer, I think, was the latest one. So you can probably still find that in your OTS. But ones like these Exodia pieces in Monster Reborn, they started to go up in price a bit. So like I said, they were free with a $30 purchase. And now that each of these on their own are probably about $30 or more. Monster Reborn might even be like 50 or so. So I think they're definitely an interesting card, and probably going to be quite the collectible in the future. So this was the second wave here, Ring of Destruction. Sorry if there's a lot of glare. I keep them in these card savers just to keep them a bit more protected, because I do like having this collection in as pristine condition as it possibly can be. So the Ring of Destruction on this one, I think there are grenades instead of the fire that was present in the redone artwork. Lesser Fiend, I think they removed his wings and horns, if I'm not mistaken. But this was not a super popular one, but still cool to have. Call of the Haunted, a classic Yu-Gi-Oh card. This was used quite a bit in the show, and obviously definitely saw some play early on in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, but definitely sees significantly less play. But the graveyard is full of cross-shaped gravestones instead of the traditional just rounded stones that are in the modern artwork. Dark Ruler Hades, or Hades, he has these bright yellowish orange horns, and strangely enough, the TCG redone artwork was just like these blue spheres, and it looks kind of strange. I think it's actually probably one of the worst changes that they made, just because of how ridiculous it looks, especially when you see the original artwork. It really makes you wonder how did they choose that out of all of the possible solutions to kind of covering up or changing those horns. So that's kind of a cool one for sure. Dark Ruler Hades, he's featured in a lot of these artworks for that same reason, basically, for just removing his horns. But here's Soul Drain. Not a super popular card. Not nearly as much as the next one here, Skill Drain. This is definitely seen some play. I think it is still limited, so definitely actually it might be forbidden. I'm not 100% sure on this one. It might actually just be forbidden, but yeah, definitely one of the cooler ones. Skill Drain for sure. Super Rejuve. A lot of people thought this was too broken to ever come back, and now it's back at 3. And that's kind of the case for a lot of these classic cards, where people just remember back in the day them just being extremely overpowered or unfair, but then they come back to 1, 2, 3, and no one really plays them. So this one has, I think, some red blood instead of the blue that they changed it to. A absolute classic Yu-Gi-Oh card here, Solemn Judgment. This one has just a minor change. It's just the angels on either side have little halos above their head. But man, does this card look good? Just as a holographic, I think this is like one of just the best looking just holographic cards. Not even just secret rare, just like just a simple super or ultra holographic pattern. So yeah, that's a great one there. Kind of a less popular one here, Edgemp Sabers. They changed a lot of these Frightfur and Fluffle monsters just to kind of blur out a lot of these sharp, pointy edges. That's kind of funny. So I think in the TCG artwork, it's just like a bright glow above the scissors. So that's always interesting when they find these quick fixes. Right, we have another hugely popular card, Foolish Burial, kind of similar to Call of the Haunted. They just added a rounded tombstone instead of this cross in the TCG artwork, but everything else pretty much remains unchanged. Now, this is one of the most interesting ones out of the whole bunch, because this artwork was one of the few that was completely redone without just taking any elements from the original artwork. So basically the other artwork, if you're familiar with it, it's kind of this reddish color, and there's kind of a altar kind of in the middle. But this one obviously looks much more religious in design with the stained glass, and I would say this is probably one of the best OCG artworks that did not make it into the TCG, just because of how different it is. It's not just a recoloration or a slight tweak. Speaking of a recoloration, Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max. This is kind of a lame one. I mean, all they did was change the barrel of this gun to green in the TCG artwork, so not the greatest not the greatest lost art. It looks okay. Obviously it's like I'd prefer it just to be this original artwork, but I mean it's not really a huge change. But a lot of these cards do see play here and there, so it is cool when they people play the lost art. I think that's definitely one of the more interesting cards to see. You see high rarity cards all the day, all day every day. But when people actually break out the lost arts for their deck, I think that's always great. So this one, definitely one of the most expensive lost arts as of currently. This is the Dark Magician Girl, the original printing. They reprinted her later on in the set. I'll show you, but this one was extremely hard to get. This was kind of a peak time during 2020, so everything was kind of a little crazy, and they kind of put this one out there, and then she was just gone. I mean, people were just left and right buying up stuff from their OTS just to grab this, because I think it hit like 60 or 70 or maybe even like $80 or $90 at one point. So just to buy $30 worth of product and to have Dark Magician Girl lost art, that's definitely definitely a good deal if you ask me. So next we have kind of an TCG favorite, should I say anime favorite, Legendary Fisherman, kind of Mako Tsunami deck, and this one actually it doesn't have much change. It's only the end of this spear was just turned. This, I think they just rounded this off and just made it kind of like a ball at the end there. So it wasn't a spear, or a spear. So yeah, not really the coolest one. This one doesn't go for a ton of money, but it is nice to have. It's nice to have all these in the collection. So this one is the start of a long line of these Harpy lost art reprints here. Many of these Harpy cards are much more revealing than their TCG counterparts. So that's one of the main reasons why a lot of these artworks were censored. A lot of the female artworks, at least. So this is Harpy Queen, and next we have Harpy Channeler. Nice artwork there, kind of almost Halloween feeling artwork. As we're slowly getting to Halloween, which is kind of my favorite time of the year. We have Harpy Dancer, another really, really nice artwork. It's nice, especially when you have all of these together. They all, kind of look really good together. And then we actually switch over to one of the Ghost Girls. This is Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. So basically, she wasn't changed all too much. They kind of just removed, or at least slightly altered her hairdress. I think it's the habit. So yeah, looks pretty similar to her artwork, but just kind of a little bit less religious. So another Fright for monster. This is Fright for Leo, and once again, I think they just blurred a lot of his sharp fingers, or whatever you would like to call those. But yeah, not a super popular one, but I'm sure a lot of players who play like Fluffles and Frighter were excited to pick that one up. Back onto a few more Harpies. This is Harpy Conductor. So this was actually only its second printing. I think it came out in Battle of the Legend as like a secret rare, and then so I think this is its only other printing, if I'm not mistaken. You see people play this card every now and then, but yeah, Harpies aren't super popular. I guess the only Harpy card that is probably Harpy's Feather Duster, and does that even really count as a Harpy card? Well, I guess, but it's not really playing in the Harpy archetype. So yeah, Harpy Conductor, that's a nice one. I think it's one of the only Link monsters, or maybe the only Link monster. So interesting having still a censored Yu-Gi-Oh card. Another Link monster that I know of censored was Appaloosa. and there might actually be a few more, but yeah, even to this day, Konami is still censoring cards, so that's pretty interesting. I'll be honest, pretty interesting, especially when their fan base has, I would say, aged up quite a bit since 2002. But next one, Arrival Rivals. So this one is also a relatively new card. I think this was in Circuit Break, if I'm not mistaken. So like I think that was the second or third set of the Link Brains era of sets. So 2019-ish. So yeah, once again, modern censorship. It's kind of wild. But I think it's just her pinching her cheek. I think they changed that to just not having her actually pinch the cheek. I think her hand is just there instead or something. But another Harpy card, Alluring Mirror Split. This one actually features quite a bit of the Harpies on there, so that's a pretty nice artwork. I think this one was starting to go up in price a good bit when I last checked, but that's definitely a nicer one for sure. And then we have, I think this might be the last Harpy card. I might be wrong, but this is Harpy's Feather Rest. Once again, featuring multiple Harpies on there, all with their OCG artwork, obviously. So really nice. And I think this is the only other card so far that had its artwork completely redone for the TCG. So obviously this is depicting this guillotine here, and in the TCG artwork it depicted, I think it was like a guy and a woman screaming, I think, or something, which is funny because I think a lot of people would say that the TCG artwork is a lot more horrific than just a guillotine with no one on it, just an empty guillotine. But you know, Konami makes their decisions how they see fit, and that's how they decided to go with that one. But yeah, if you look up the tragedy artwork, it is pretty horrifying, I'll be honest. So this Raging Area, this kind of went along with the Spirit Charmer structure deck that came out, I think it was last year now. So it's nice. They I think they reprinted I think 2 more of the Raging Spirit the spellcasters. So yeah, it's kind of nice. These are definitely kind of a niche. I hear that Spirit Charmers are a lot more popular in Japan than they are in the TCG, so the Spirit Charmer structure deck didn't do super well. I'm actually surprised Konami even printed that here, so that was kind of a nice surprise. I always like when we get every structure deck that comes out in the OCG, because it's you know, obviously nice to not have to have those cards thrown in a set where you have to dig for them and pay probably 3 to 5 times the price of a structure deck for. So this one is really cool. A VW XYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon. Again, a classic from way back in the day. I think the main thing that was changed was the coloration of a lot of the guns and weapons. I think those were changed to like a blue, but I'm not actually 100% sure about everything. There might be other stuff changed in this as well. But this one's definitely a nice one. I think a lot of people were excited when that one came out. We're getting close to the end here. At least currently, because these are still coming out pretty much every, I would say every month or so. It kind of depends. Sometimes they put them out every like 2 weeks. Sometimes there's a month gap. But recently it's been kind of slower than normal. But it's pretty good that they've been keeping them up. So Vampire Vamp. I'm actually not sure where this card was first printed. This is one of the few that I really just did not recognize when I first saw it. And I actually don't know exactly what is different. I'm guessing the religious cross symbols were probably changed, but other than that, maybe she's covered up a little bit more, but that's just my guess. You guys can feel free to look that one up and let me know in the comments what is changed. Another Spirit Charmer, this is Blazing Hita. Honestly, these are really nice, the Spirit Charmer artworks. So